What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Welcome back. It's been a little while. Hey, everyone. So what do we do now since we've officially been uninvited to the cookout? We have officially been uninvited to the Independence Day cookout, and I wanted to come in and talk about it. Listen, we have options. We can either push our way into places that we don't want to be, or we could create our own spaces. And so I have made a commitment this week to come on live every single day during the week. Tentative the timing, so go ahead and hit that notification bell. But based on the most current events, can't even call it breaking news because for those of you who have been part of the Gym Nation since November, this is all that we've been talking about, right? And now it's being put into action. And so, with all of that being said, we should not be surprised. We should, the timing was definitely expedited, right? But we should not be surprised about exactly what is going on. So, let me quickly introduce myself for people who may have never been to this channel before. What's up, everybody? My name is Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. This is the Gym Nation family where we drop gems, we drop jewels about all things related to money, travel, and wellness from a cultural perspective, from a Black woman's point of view. But we ask you to chime in and be part of the conversation. So this was an impromptu live. I think I posted about it a little earlier today, a few hours ago, maybe like 5 hours ago, but I felt it necessary. And y'all know, the OGs know when it is time um, to go live. When something's been put on my spirit and in my heart, I am going to go live. And I just could not let the day end without addressing certain things. I am currently traveling. Hey, Moni, what's up? Good to see you. If you're in here from the Gym Nation, go ahead and drop the diamonds, the gems in the chat. Um, but hey, Cheryl, good to see you as well. Cheryl, PhD. Let me get that together. And Ebad, hey, Ebad, good to see you as well. But y'all know these are the OG Gym Nation members who know that when God tells me to move, I move. And so watching the news and then juxtapositioning it with people, meaning us, you know, buying flags and and hamburger buns and hamburgers and hot dog buns and all the fixins for Independence Day. I felt away, right? I felt away, and I had to come in and share my feelings because maybe, just maybe, some people have not been caught up to speed as to exactly what is happening. But I'm going to share some things, and each day is going to probably be a slightly different topic to add emphasis into what's really happening. And I know my Gym Nation members, y'all know what is going down. But the question is, now that we've been kicked out of the celebration, right? The celebration that we used to play such a big part in, as someone, who used to spend 4th of July in the South with my family in the South. Firecrackers and fireworks, we were out there popping too, and we were going to watch them wherever. Also, growing up in New York, the Macy's fireworks display was something huge, right? And so when we break down exactly what this holiday means, we really have to question if we what should we be doing, since it is now clear that this celebration is not really for us. You think about Independence Day, you think about freedoms, right? And it's so ironic that something is going to be signed, a bill is going to be signed on Freedom Day that takes away the freedoms for many of us. And we'll go over some of those in a second. But what I thought was really interesting, this is a quote from 1852 from Frederick Douglass. And if you don't know who Frederick Douglass is, because we know the person who's signing the bill he didn't know who Frederick Douglass was. And you could Google that and find out what I mean by that. But on July 5th of 1852, Frederick Douglass gave a speech at an event commemorating the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This was held at Rochester's Corinthian Hall. And this is what he said. I'm not going to read everything, but this I think is super timely and super poignant. He said, "The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn." I'm going to read that one more again. The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. And there was someone who broke down that simple phrase into a much more detailed assessment, where you asked me to speak at this event when basically you're the only ones that get to celebrate the freedoms and independence, right? And so that leads me to where we are right now with this conversation, because what are we celebrating? We're not invited. We are not invited to this party. And we need to be real clear with that. And what are we going to do now that we know that we know we're not guessing. We know that we are not invited to this particular party known as Independence Day. And so I quickly want to just talk about some of the things that are going to take away our freedoms and independence, right? And so I'll say hi to everyone in a second, but I just want to get through this. And this, being in the South, let me just say, I have had a pretty good time. Like, I haven't run into any mistreatment, any weird vibes. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has been beyond nice. And so this is not to call out everyone, but it is to call out those people at the top, those billionaires that are going to make life hard for many of us, the majority of us. And so let me just quickly, how come I can't see y'all? Oh, there y'all are. So yeah, so let's quickly just go through. I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged everybody. I'm sitting myself in the house with my popcorn. Child, let me just tell you, me and my god sister were talking about that today. My god sister, who lives where I am, who usually, if she is in town, does it up. Her son is a great chef. He's a master griller. And she is like, girl, if I get out of the bed, it will not be to do any of the celebrations. And so I'm right there along with her. I'm going to put together a list of movies and or documentaries that I need to catch up on, but I'm right there with you. Cheryl says, I'm visiting San Miguel de Allende and glad you went live so you can catch up. Yes, congratulations, Cheryl, PhD. Listen, this is what we need to start doing as a antithesis to Independence Day. We really need to start doing things that mean independence, that are going to deliver independence. And what Cheryl is doing right now is aligned with that mission. And so, congratulations. Another one of, you've probably seen her in the group Casper 330. She literally just got her approval for residency in Mexico yesterday and is already on the phone with the facilitator to do the second half. And she was also a client of mine. And so listen, this is not a game for me. It has not been a game for me for many years since I saw the direction that this country was going. It was clear for at least 7, 8 years now. It started getting clearer and clearer. And so that's when I started taking action. But anyway, let's get into it. When you talk about this bill, I refuse to use the word beautiful in combination with this bill. When you talk about the bill, I want us to be really specific on who's going to be impacted the most. And it's Black and brown people, right? It's Black Americans, and let's just say non-white men will all catch it's a good time to be a white man in this country, child. You ain't got a care in the world right now, unless you are poor and you're on assistance or subsidies. Then yeah, you're going to have some cares, but you don't have the same cares that we have, right? So Black Americans who are statistically more likely to rely on Medicaid, SNAP, and community health resources are at disproportionate risk of reduced coverage, increased out-of-pocket costs, and diminished social safety nets. Meanwhile, this bill that we are talking about accelerates wealth concentration at the top, increasing economic inequalities, which are already vast, and health vulnerabilities in Black communities. But what's even more, and what we're going to kind of talk about more today, is the exorbitant amount of money that they are putting behind ICE, which is now going to be known as the largest federal law enforcement agency in the history of this nation. Let me just say this, as it just came to me. Do yourself a favor. If you are a minority and you're watching this, make sure you have the telephone number of an immigration attorney at the ready. Sing a song to memorize it. It should be local to where you are, which is probably the easiest. But if it's not in your immediate town or city, the nearest town, make sure you memorize the telephone number for an immigration attorney who is willing to take all cases. Because as I said back in November and December and January, while everybody's talking about, telling, Mexican Americans, don't look at me. The writing was on the wall, and they literally said it. They weren't just coming after Mexicans. That was their test pilot, so to speak, right? That was their test pilot to start this huge deportation effort, which is going to include everyone who is not of their choosing, of their liking. They are trying to do a cleansing, do an ethnic cleansing. And so please do yourself a favor and make sure you, your children, people that you care about, make sure you share the word. Keep an immigration attorney's number at the ready, because things are about to get very dark. And we already see it in many cities, like in New York. I know they've not just gone after Mexicans. There's Haitians, there are a whole host of Caribbean and African immigrants that they have already started targeting. And I know they've done this in other parts on the West Coast and in Florida. So it's not just Mexican Americans. And when you talk about funneling billions, what is it? It is 30 billion a year. That's in the budget. Currently, ICE's budget is about 10 billion, it says. They are tripling that from 10 billion to 30 billion dollars a year. But that's not it, y'all. That is not it. Congress is also throwing in 45 billion to expand these detention facilities. And that's 45 billion with a B, not a 45 million, which actually means more beds and cages, more concentration camps. And we saw what was unveiled a couple days ago in Florida. I'm not going to call it that stupid name that they're calling it, but if you haven't seen it, your 47 has been, he went to tour it, I want to say yesterday or the day before. But these are going to pop up everywhere now that Congress is throwing in 45 billion to expand these detention facilities, or concentration camps is what we'll call them. And they're also expected to hire 10,000 new ICE officers within the next year. They are even recruiting, y'all, at HBCUs. Anybody see Django Unchained? This is what this is reminding me of. So let's just break it down a little bit more, right? They are planning for about 3,000 arrests a day. Oh, and this is going to be implemented. So I think he signs the bill tomorrow. That budget goes in effect tomorrow. Now we're going to go over some other things that, like the Medicaid and those cuts, don't implement until the end of, I want to say December 2026. But this ICE budget goes into effect immediately. Right now, there are only 59,000, excuse me, there not only, but there are currently 59,000 being held in detention. And that's what's being reported. It's probably more than that. But the budget was only for 41,000. Right now, the budget is for 1 million people a year. So if they're already overextending that budget, I'm sure that they're going to have more than 1 million within a year in these detention centers, AKA concentration camps. They plan to sweep workplaces. They plan to sweep schools, not just at the collegiate level. We're talking elementary, preschool. They're going to rip kids from their parents' arms. Again, that's the only way they could get to this 3,000 a day number, equaling 1 million per year, 1 million plus per year, let's just say. Now, 1 million per year, again, to put it in perspective, that's less than 1% of the US population. But again, that's just year one. These budgets go on for, I want to say 10, at least through 2038, somewhere around there. But what was I going to say? So let me just, the 10,000 new ICE officers, they're hiring across the board for that. This is going to be the largest federal enforcement agency in the history of the nation. This is not good, y'all. This is not good. But the good news is that for people who are in community, for people who are paying attention, for people who are willing to, let me read your comments, y'all. For people who are willing to stay ready, then we can at least not be taken off guard when we start to see things that may affect us. Wow, I think we missed the message in that quote for years. Oh, yeah, 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 I think yeah, Frederick Douglass. I wish we could all go back and reread and re-educate ourselves on certain teachings and learnings from people like Frederick Douglass and Carter G. Woodson and others, because there's so many lessons there. There are a lot of cities canceling their celebrations because they can't afford it. Yep, it's a quiet protest. I just heard, wait a minute, you just sparked something. Wait a minute. Well, no, they didn't cancel. So the Essence Festival, which was part of my life for, I think I went to like 17 consecutive Essence Festivals, or maybe 18. Um, their numbers are down. Occupancy for the hotels are at about 70 something percent. That is uncommon. The ticket sales for the concerts are drastically down. That is uncommon. Some of it has to do with the backlash to one of their sponsors, but it's also, I think, a silent protest in a lot of ways, and not wanting to gather in big places where we don't know what's going to happen, right? Especially now that this is all legal and signed. The bill will be signed on Independence Day, where we're supposed to be celebrating freedoms, right? But he's talking about canceling other holidays. There's too many holidays. Well, how about we start with this one? How about we start with this one, since it obviously means nothing to you? Um, let's see. Hey, LJ. Oh, you're in Bogota. Hey, so listen, y'all. I don't. Well, she shared it, but two of our Gym Nation members are in Bogota celebrating with the sisters from Exodus Summit and Stephanie Perry's birthday. And so, congratulations! I am so happy that you are out of here and not watching the foolishness that is going on here. Have fun. Have some. What do I love? Colombian. Um, hmm. Well, I love fried fish. So you just go ahead and have some good fried fish for me. I don't know. I don't know what, there's something else that I love from I used to like, they have this beer. It's a rose I call it amber beer, but I think on it's a Colombian beer. But anyway, have fun, have fun. Yes, prisoners are going to equal the new workforce, right? Who's gonna pick the strawberries and work in the chicken factories and pump all the, stuff that we're not supposed to be consuming into our food and pick it's, so yeah, prisoners equal the new workforce. Prison industry is the only company's workforce that will grow during, and there's a huge investment. And a lot of the companies that build these prisons are on the they're publicly traded, and those companies are going to reap the rewards from a lot of people's pain. And so you're right. You're absolutely right, Ebad. Oh, I'm so happy that y'all are out of here. But I did again want to talk about not only, let me pull up, I got my little notes because I wanted to be ready with the trends and the projections, right? So the areas that we can expect severe dismantling. We talked about Medicaid cuts, right? And I also went on, well, I shared a video earlier today because a lot of people believe that Medicaid just equals poor. And that is not the case. There are so many people who had wealth, but because of the costs associated with certain illnesses, rather it is cancer, rather it is lupus, rather it is diabetes, whatever it is, some of those costs are so exorbitant, right? If you get ill and have to go into any type of short-term / long-term facility and you have money, but you you're underinsured, you have to make a decision. And people have made decisions to give up all of their assets just so they can get the health care that they need. And let's not even talk about the children that's good. We're going to talk about that later. We're not going to go deep into any of these. I wanted to start with immigration because that is the big one that goes into effect immediately. And so Medicare cuts and work place requirements are all going to, unfortunately, unfortunately, those are going to be, we're going to be hit hard with those. So again, these don't go into effect immediately. They want people Medicaid. They want people who are on Medicaid to work 80 hours per month. Now, oh, and then there's increasing the age of that too, right? So I believe if you were 50, under 55, there may have been some type of stipulations in place for some cities or some states, excuse me. But now it's 64. If you're 64, up to 64, you can be required to work 80 hours per month in order to receive Medicaid benefits. And this is set to take place in December of 2026. So we're going to have a session this week called Good News and Bad News, right? So yeah, there's bad news that if you are on Medicaid or some type of managed care program, or even Medicare, or in a city or town where you have limited healthcare resources, a lot of these hospitals are going to close, or these, what do you call them, the clinics are going to close. That's the bad news. The good news is this is happening in the end of 2026, which means there's a window of preparation. And here, we're all about the preparation. And so if you, let me just underscore this. If you ever thought about doing what Miss Cheryl PhD is doing, exploring other countries, maybe for possible residency, do it now. Do it now, because there's going to be a mass influx. There's going to be changes to rules and regulations. We've seen that happen with Mexico already. Do it now. I've literally had like 7 people in the past week ask me when I'm opening up my calendar to do the consultations for Mexican residency. So much so that I had to open up my calendar. Many of y'all know that I've been traveling and I'm also doing a course. I didn't want to overextend myself, but I opened up my calendar for July. If anybody is interested in some hand holding, listen, now is the time. I just do Mexican residency consultations, but if there is any place that you want to go and you can find somebody to help you with that process, to navigate through the mundane, go ahead and do it now. December 31st, 2026, that's a year and a half away. We have options. So that's the good news. And in almost every one of these areas, there's a good news, bad news story if we are willing to do things differently. So knowing that, some of our family members are disproportionately affected through these cuts, we got to wake them up. We got to nudge them. We have to sell them on what's going on, because some of them aren't paying attention. Some of them know everything that went on with the Diddy trial. And we're going to have a whole nother conversation about that, because you're not going to tell me that that was not a setup for distraction. The timing from the arrest to the verdict, a setup for distraction, especially with the sensational part of the story, which none of that stuff ever came to be. So this is not a guilty, innocent conversation. This is just how things work in this country. And so some of our people, we can tell you everything about the Diddy trial, but we can't tell you a daggone thing about what's going on with this BBB, this bill. And so Right now, there's expected 7.6 million, let's just round it up to 10 million, um, projected loss of coverage in the US. Um, and we know that we're going to be disproportionately affected. Also, the same with SNAP benefits. They're going to require um, parents to work or adults to work. Age 55 to 64 and parents of children 7 to 16, removing any flexibility previously granted during economic hardship. Um, mm, we know about the tax cuts that's going to favor the wealthy. We'll talk more about that when we talk about getting your money right. Um, Broader health and social services reductions outside of the ones that I just talked about, like Planned Parenthood funding, that's going to be completely cut. Not 100% cut, but the funding is going to be completely devastating, right? The cuts are going to be drastic. And so um, we also talked about, well, I talked about it earlier, environmental cuts, right? The whole National Weather Association is going to see cuts, and that just has so many other ramifications. Um, the cost of living is another area that, when I tell you, if we are not focusing on how to secure our financial futures, we are in trouble. There is no way around it. Our taxes are going up, our energy costs are going up, our inflation at the supermarket, everything is going up. And as someone who has been talking this talk, like as far as trying to future proof your income, this is not, I just really want to take a minute to say that everything that I've done on this channel to date, when I started with investing for independence, has been to really get us to open our eyes about areas that they don't want us to open our eyes to. And this is turning into a country that the more streams of income that you have, the more secure you will be. And so there are ways that we can brace for impact, right? And kind of stay ahead of the curve. And one is staying informed and spreading awareness. So, number one, if you haven't liked this video and you're in here, go ahead and do it now. The algorithm has not been, my best friend lately, but I get why. I get it. So I'll just keep talking the talk until they decide to catch up. And that's why we're going live every day this week. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to stay woke. That is a bad word now. And so when I use words like that, or when I use words like, DEI or Black people, even, there's a little alarm bell that goes off. And so, saying all that to say, if you're here, go ahead, like the video, share it with a friend, help to spread the word. We also need to build communities, right? Especially if you have a talent when it comes to healthcare and health and wellness. In our Decode Your Talent and Design Your 5-Figure Income course that the boot camp that we just came from, there are people in there that are sitting on such brilliancy in areas that we are going to need them in. Think about what you can offer, right? Think about what type of value you can bring to the community and start putting that in action. Because, again, even though the cuts for Medicaid are not slated to start until December, these insurance companies are going to start preparing. They're going to start preparing first, right? So expect 2026 to be like this. And so if you have an expertise, now is the time to get that expertise out into the market. And that's across all areas that will be greatly impacted. Education, and we'll go through the list. So build community and health kind of coalitions. And also, when it comes to financial literacy, do the research, do the homework, find a group or a community that you can get into that can help you learn more about um, where you should be investing now, right? Because all investments aren't created equal. And as part of the Maximize Assets Grow Abundance course that we did, it was all about follow the leaders, right? You can't beat them. Some ways you have to join them. Where are they investing? There are, for those of you who are in investments, there are forms that the Congress people and the senators have to fill out whenever they do buy stocks or trade stocks or whatever. A lot of them, they know what's going on before it happens. Nancy Pelosi was a great example of that. And if you follow some of their moves, you can set yourself up for success. We're thinking about bringing that course back, or at least putting the replays out, because it is so many gems in there that most of us don't know about, but the others are taking advantage of. And of course, always, if you can, support your own. I know sometimes it can be difficult. It can be difficult, but provide grace where you can. Now, if you're getting horrible service and horrible treatment, no. But if it just means you may have to wait an extra 48 hours for something because they're short staffed, let's support our Black brothers and sisters who have launched their own businesses, because there's going to be challenges with them as well. And so, so there's so much I want to go over, but again, I don't want this to be a super long conversation. I just wanted it to be, instead of using tomorrow to light fireworks, spend time with your family. That is beautiful, but have necessary conversations with them. Spend time with your friends. Have these necessary conversations with them. Have a 2-minute conversation about Diddy. Have a 2-minute conversation about Real Housewives of Atlanta. The rest of the time, talk to them about staying ready and what you need to do to stay ready. And there's so much more that we're going to talk about in the next few days. But I did want to come on and just say, listen, you ain't got to tell me twice. You don't want me there, you don't got to worry about me being there. So now let me develop my own, right? Let me develop my own Independence Day. And so, yeah, exactly. Yes, Dante, listen, I agree. I also felt disgusted with all the fake pomp and circumstance that goes around with it. We knew it was passing. And the most disgusting thing was they could not make one amendment to it, which tells me all I need to know about where this country is headed at the approval of people bigger than just the Republican Party. There's no way you can tell me any different. But I agree with you. It's passed, and now we have to completely so wait, we gotta celebrate. Hey, Christine, miss your girl. Good to see you. It is disgusting, but I quickly want to shout out not only an OG Gym Nation member, not only a client, not only a beautiful soul that I got to meet during my when I hosted a scouting trip to Mexico in May, and she was there with her cousin, but now the newest residente temporal de Mexico. Congratulations. Yes, Casper 330. I brought you up a little earlier today. These are the types of moves that we're going to have to make. I am so proud that you stayed the course, that you did all the things, because I remember our first conversation and there was some doubt there. There was some doubt on if you would be approved. But again, if you plan the work and work the plan. So congratulations. I am so happy for you. She it was so funny. She was like, yesterday she texted me. She's like, I got it. And then she kept going. She was like, when we moving? She is ready, child. So congratulations. I am so happy for you. Yeah, Dante, yes, I'm glad you're back. Listen, we are coming back every day this week, and I'm going to put up the full schedule tomorrow. It's just that I'm dealing with a contractor here, and I'm on his time. And so I just need to find out tomorrow. He was supposed to pick out some things and let me know. Anyway, so as soon as I find out my schedule, but tomorrow, it will be tomorrow evening. So it will definitely be tomorrow evening, probably around 10 o'clock. I'll say around like 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I will put the whole schedule out tomorrow because there's things that we need to discuss. And then I am going to, yes, I know you ready, girl. I'm trying to get everybody ready. I am trying to get everybody ready. Matter of fact, if you're watching this now or on in the future, go ahead. My July calendar, I don't have August open yet, but July is open if you want to do one-on-one consultations to get your residency, because I do think you need to do it now. I do think things are going to change. You're going to have to change things because there's just too many people trying to go the other way, right? Trying to self-deport themselves, and they don't even need to deport child. So go ahead and book for the month of July. And I will give you, all the insider tips, all the access to the best facilitators based on the area that you want to go to, and the best strategy, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of dated information out here. There's a lot of things that have changed. There's a lot of communities that people don't know about how to access. So if you're interested, again, and listen, I'm going to keep talking my talk because everything that I offer is because of what is going on now. There's nothing that I am selling or putting or coaching about or putting out there that does not have to do with the importance of us having options, the importance of us not getting caught up and being like a deer in headlights when all of these things happen. So yeah, you may hear me talk about quite a few things, but it's all because like Christine says, what is happening is disgusting. But again, there's an intuition that I've been kind of blessed with, where a lot of y'all seen it. Why pray tell? I had never had the desire to go live every single day on any platform except TikTok when it came to my travel community. But to have real conversations that I know are not accepted by this mass platform, right? The whole stay ready conversation is not going to generate a whole lot of revenue for this platform. They want other topics. And so again, having the intuition to go ahead and commit to helping to change people's lives. And let me tell you, the fact that I see people like Casper 330, I have another sister, I haven't seen her in a second, but she in May got her residency too. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It was something one at the end, but she had a lavender as her profile pic. And she got her residency. She was a client as well, got her residency in Playa del Carmen in May. There was another sister who, Lisa, who got her residency in May and just thank me for my commitment. Like, this is God's work. This is not my work. This is God's work. And so I just thank each and every one of you for tuning in and being part of the family. Let me see what Christine said. Oh, I missed that. Oh, somebody said, Ebeth said, congratulations, Christine. No, it was Casper 330. Yes. So yeah, you can do it too. And if you listen, I'm that person that if you can check all the boxes yourself, please start the process now and do it before they make more changes. They're going to have to make more changes because right now, truth be told, the requirements are not difficult to become a resident in Mexico. Not at all. It's probably the easiest place. They're going to have to make it a little more difficult to control the influx and control the fact that they have people come. A lot of people from Mexico are self-deporting. Like they have to be able to handle the influx of people that they're about to have. So yes, and they're quietly closing U.S. embassies all over the world. Um, they're closing embassies. They are making it more expensive for even if you're seeking asylum. It doesn't matter where. Not just so. Remember the no travel ban that they have on for us, not them, but us. Um, for people who are seeking asylum, even that are this, the prices are going up. Um, yeah, this things that there's so many changes that are happening. I swear, if a video is more than a month old, or really 2 weeks is too old, too many things happening. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, of course, if you're talking about non-important things, right? If you're talking about things like, oh, um, how to lose weight, and that's not non-important, but if you're talking about things like how to lose weight through juicing, right? That's still an evergreen conversation. But right now, when you're talking about getting residency other places, relocating, listen, I am so proud of my Gym Nation members, um, from LJ and Shell to Cheryl PhD to Christine, who was about that action. We got more action to do, but she was about that action, in the quest to get her ducks in a row. So if she wants to leave the country, or when she wants to leave, she can legally. Who did we just talk about? Casper 330. There are so many of y'all that are just being about that action. And it just totally makes me want to keep coming back to this platform. I thank you. I really do. And it also gives me the fire to keep, sharing these stories and showing examples of people who are doing it, doing the work. Like this is not impossible. Sometimes we just put it in our mind that we can't, we shouldn't be doing it, right? Because we didn't see anybody else doing it. I'm going to revert to my the boot camp that Andrea and I just came off of. I'm gonna say this loud, proud, and strong. We have been so conditioned that in order for us to start any type of business, not only do we have to have a whole business plan that we have to put together with all this market research and all this analysis and evaluations, and that's what gets us stuck. If you are talking about starting a sole proprietor business, a single member LLC, it should not take you more than 5 weeks from ideation to launch. Should not take you more than 5 weeks, especially with all of the tools and the resources that we have available now to use that can help us get there quicker. Everyone should be thinking about another stream of income. And there is so many talented people. Like when I tell you at the 5th day of this boot camp, the tears that were flowing from people who didn't realize, or some people knew they had certain talents, but just had been sitting on them. And then others were like, well, no wonder this didn't work because that's not my natural get. Like there was so many revelations and so many tears that happened on the 5th day, the step up graduation day, that I just want all of us to start thinking like that. Now, today, what is your natural alignment? And lean into that. and start offering that as a service, especially a community-based service. There's no reason within the next 2 months you can't generate income from it. And it's definitely no reason that by the end of this year you should at least be making 5 figures. And the 5 figures is based on whatever the product is that you have or the services that you have. But we need to start thinking more like that, because these other people, they're not out here doing these young kids are not doing a business plan. They're doing a strategy. They're doing a 5-day strategy. I do 5-day strategies. I have a coach that helps me through my 5-day strategies. And all of my strategies are based in helping my community. And so I just want us to start thinking like that. Money should not be the reason why you can't get a residency someplace. You can literally make enough money within 6 months if you're strategic in being able to pay for the residency process and go scout the location. Now, I don't know if you can make enough to live off of for a year in 6 months. If you don't put in the work, if this is new to you, that may be a little out of your comfort zone, but it's doable. And I want us to start thinking like that. And that's why we're leaving. So the replays for that, if you want to just do the boot camp, the replays, those all will be linked in the description. We're starting our coaching on Tuesday, and we'll meet every Tuesday for 4 weeks, except the third Tuesday. That'll be a Wednesday. And we're going to design so that the 5-figure blueprint by the end of 5 days, you will have designed. The next 4 weeks, you'll be talking your talk and selling your product, and so, or your service. And so I am super excited about all of the programs that we have put together in 2025 with the initiative, or with the goal for none of us to be left behind. None of us that don't want to be left behind. Oh, let's not be left behind. And don't put yourself in places where you can get caught up, because it's not necessary. So if you know it's a event that is going to have a lot of people that are immigrants. So I'm from New York, right? So there are places, I'm not going to Eastern Parkway on during Labor Day. I don't know where ICE is going to be and who they're going to snatch up, and how the heck are they going to tell that I am not of Caribbean descent? They'll think these are dreads, right? And they will snatch my behind up with the rest of them. So guess what? I will be watching it on TV if I watch it at all. So let's just be strategic moving forward. Create a flavor and travel. Hi, I got my residency in May. Yes, I think you shared that. Yes, but let's celebrate that again. This is motivation. Everyone, I'm not going to say everyone should be doing this, because listen, there are stipulations, right? You have to meet certain criteria. But if you meet that criteria, and the good thing right now is that the criteria is different at different consulates in the US. So whereas the number may be one thing in New York City, you go down to Phoenix, it may be thousands less, right? That stipulation. So that's what I help you, try to figure out which consulates, based on your financial solvency and how it meets their requirements. And so congratulations. Watching if I need to leave sooner. Yeah, I'm not stressing the leave right now. Like, I have things I need to do in the States. But just make sure you're not acting out of haste. What did my mom? Haste makes waste. I remember that saying growing up. Oh my gosh, haste makes waste. So just whatever your plans are, just have a strategic plan. And if you need to pivot, have a plan B. That's all. So yeah, but congratulations. I am so happy. Yes. Well, Dante, yeah, just, when it's your time. And listen, I am also the one that believes that everybody doesn't need to leave the country, but you need to be in community should something pop off. You need to have options on if your neighborhood starts burning, where you gonna go, what you gonna do. Like, the plans just need to be in place for whatever your desired outcome is. And so that's exactly what I want us to do in this community. That's exactly why I'm going live every day again, to try to just, because what I noticed when I did that, the results are still here, because that's the beautiful thing about this platform. Somebody can see a video that I did back in November and be like, I got my passport because of you, and I still get that, like, every week. Every week is like, oh my gosh, I just got my son's passport just in case. I didn't realize it had expired. Like, so I do hear that all the time. But I do know that right now we are in a peculiar situation. And there are different solutions. That's why I said, for those of you who came in late, one of the videos is going to be, yes, this is a problem, here's a solution, or this is the bad and here's the good, right? So the bad is, yes, these changes are coming, but this change, we got some time. So what do you need to do in that time frame? So if you are on Medicaid and managed healthcare, we're going to talk about steps you can take to start planning on what to do. And it may be, there's a lot of options. So I'll wait to have that conversation. So for every problem, there's a solution. And so we just need to focus on the solutions and how to prepare for those versus the problems. We need to know the problems, but we need to prepare ourselves so that we have a solution. And so I am so happy. I'm so full for just coming in and seeing all of these great supportive comments and all of these people just being about that action. I am super excited for the changes that I know are going to come from, the Gym Nation, not just the individuals that show up here, but by you having those conversations. So let them kick us out of the cookout. Let's create our own cookout, but our cookout is based in strategy. Our holiday is going to be based in staying ready, based on what we know is imminent, right? And so the fact that this bill it can't be changed for 10 years or something. Listen, we're going to talk more about the details of it, and I'm going to try to do like a show and tell. If not tomorrow, definitely on Saturday, I'll do more of a show and tell, like I'll bring up slides or whatever. And then also I'll put the link so anybody who wants to join the conversation can do that as well. Let me just go ahead. I do want to share one thing before I head out, because when I tell you, like I said, child, I was like, how did everybody get my email address, first of all? But I know it's out there someplace, but I was getting emails like, I reached out to you 6 months ago, I wasn't ready, or, oh my gosh, I just came across your video that I did like 2 years ago. Can you help me? And so, listen, I'm here to help. I'm here to be a vessel. If anybody is interested in I'm going to leave 2 things. I forgot. There is the Mexican Residency Resource Guide. So that is just a small investment, child. It is a small investment if you just want to start the process. And the resource guide has clickable links. So meaning any consulate that's listed in there, you click on the link, it takes you directly to the consulate page. Those of you that don't know me, I'm a clickable link type girl. Sell me a clickable link resource guide and I'm buying. So I don't have to do all the legwork and the research. Also, anything that's in there that you need to divert to, there's a clickable link. And anyone who gets that guide, It will also take you to a link to set up a consultation if in fact you're interested. And then I'm also going to share the consultation link for anybody who's interested in just going ahead and doing that. Because again, listen, I don't want you to learn the hard way, right? I want you to learn from my mistakes. Some of y'all don't know I did the process myself, the first part of my process with no help. I also did the process in Mexico with no help. The second time when I had to renew, I got help. But I also know what I know. I learned what I learned, and I want to share that with you as well. So if you're interested in the strategy call, and then we do a follow-up, and then, like I said, you get links to other things that will help you in the process as well. And so, yeah, so thank you again for tuning in. This week, like I said, we're going to go live every day because I need my community back. I need my community to start getting back in action. For those of you who, may have been like, oh, we got time. Child. Oh, thank you so much. The first link is missing the H. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the resource guide. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think a lot of us, including me, thought we had more time than we did, but we don't. Mexican residency. There we go. Yeah, we don't. And so I just want us to be good on the other side of this because we have seen worse. But tomorrow we are going to come back and talk more strategy. We're going to talk this week about if you find yourself in a managed care situation, because many of us, like, especially if you have your own business and you were in certain states where it was required that you have health care insurance, many people got their insurance through managed care. And you call it that, or you could call it Obamacare or the national care, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be affected. Or if you have a loved one who's currently in the only way they're getting health care is through Medicaid or Medicare. What does that look like? And how can you start preparing for that? And so many more conversations this week. Like I said, it may go longer. See what God puts on my heart. I do know that this week, based on what happened today, based on tomorrow, or actually today, is it 12? Yep, it's 12/10, being Independence Day. We needed to come together and have this moment of clarity that they don't want us at the cookout. And so that's okay. I've been kicked out of better places, child. I've been kicked out of better places. That's what we need to, say to ourselves. But I think there was one last thing. Oh, yeah, the boot camp. So if anybody is watching this now or in the future and you want to join the coaching, you only have a couple through tomorrow to probably catch up on the 5-day boot camp in order to join the coaching. But if you only want to just do the replays of the boot camp, that is an option as well. So let me go ahead and just insert those two links. Again, this is for people who are looking to design from people. Let me just say this. This is for people who are looking to learn from people who have already designed multiple 5-figure business ideas that were ideated and launched in an accelerated pace. If you're interested in that type of process, then this is for you. If you're not, then that's fine too. But again, I promise you, it don't take all that to get your money up. It really doesn't. And when you think about how much money is out in this world, there is no reason we need to be left behind. And I always use, not always, but I've recently started using, listen, as someone who has been real connected to the concert the concert industry, right? Live concert industry, from Live Nation to Ticketmaster and everything before that. There's something going on right now where everybody's trying to get their money up. Beyonce would have never gone on concert back to back like this if she didn't know she needed to get her money up in order to continue the type of lifestyle she's living. And the same with Usher, back to back concerts. The same with Janet Jackson, back to back concerts. They are getting their money up because they're on the inside. They know exactly what's about to come down the pike. And so let me just first put the link in for the live boot camp without coaching. Oh, Cynthia is in here. Hey, girl. Uh-oh. That's not it, y'all. Let me delete. That wasn't it. I put the wrong link. The whole link didn't go in. Let me do that first. And then if there's any questions, y'all, if you don't ask tonight, y'all know me, put it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then this is... That's the replays without coaching. And then I wanted to do the replays. I mean, the replays with coaching. So here you go. But find you a community that will hold you accountable to get this done. Replays with coaching. Because we all need to get our money up. We're all going to need to future-proof our income. We're all going to need to know how to use our God-given talents. Read the parable of the talents, man. God has bestowed talents in each and every one of us. And we spit at his feet when we don't use them to multiply, not just sit on them, but to multiply. And so again, find you a community that will help you. I'm so glad to see you, Cynthia. I caught part of your live or your video. Yeah, your live the other day, 2 days ago, I want to say. Keep it going, girl. I love the title of it. And I was in between things, so I need to matter of fact, I'll catch up on the rest of it tonight. But yeah. What Cynthia said, the 4th of July, my yep. Yeah, and I have a complicated relationship with that holiday too, but it's not as complicated as the one tomorrow or today, I should say. But I am gonna make me a peach cobbler, y'all. I'm in the South, child. I got me some fresh peaches from the farmer's market, and I'm gonna make me healthy because I'm using organic sugar. I'm going to make me a healthy peach cobbler tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. And so I appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's been over an hour and it's after midnight. Well, on the East Coast. I hope to see everyone tomorrow. Let's just call it 10 p.m. I'm just going to say 10 p.m. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Excuse me. Why do I keep... Tomorrow is Friday. I'm going to just say 10 p.m. If you could make it, fine. I know some of y'all will be with family and, having fun, maybe a little inebriated, and that's okay. But have the conversation. Have the conversation like, listen, we need to, have some powwows and find out what we're going to do based on all the things that he's doing that he promised he will do. And just have the conversation. And I will see everyone tomorrow for our conversation, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a good night. Bye, Cheryl. Hasta luego. Buenas noches. Buen noches. That's Mexican. My Dominican friends, I say buenos noches, but yes. Buenas noches. Enjoy Mexico. Have a mezcalita for me, por mí. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. Take care. Hit like,